Okay, well, let's jump into it. So today I have two wonderful people up here. Come on up. Eh, that's the debate, though. It's like, what to? Come on up. I'll be over here. All right. So we're going through, we had Mega Camp. We also had,
The amazing AI thing.
yep, which we'll get to chat about a little bit, and the CEO Summit. So we'll have it where we have different comments, different pieces. You guys went to different spots and different places. So that's going to be where this is really cool. But what I want to dive into first, to kind of just start it off, is just a little bit about this. And I want to go through, okay, what does it look like? What's like who was the person speaking? What was something about it? And then what was something that you guys took away from that? That was like, and some you might not have, and some you might have more to say, right? Which is great. Um, but where I wanted to start was this, because Gary Keller sat down for a while and talked about this slide. What do you guys have?
We've seen this slide before. He shows us this slide every time.
We definitely,
We've seen it.
like, Robert's never seen it. He's the only one. But other than that, no. So what about this slide though was specific that they were talking about this time?
I'm going to kick it to Holly because you're asking numbers questions.
If I turn it on. I think it was a lot like, because you looked at the numbers in 2008 and they were level with where we're at today.
Yep. And it was interesting because one of the things they were saying is on average, we have between 3 to 4 years is where a recession hits. It's like 3 to 4 years of being at the bottom, right? The interesting thing that they were pointing out from all of the past recessions of when it hit that point is we are the most stagnant that they've ever seen. So if you look, we're 4.1 basically, and they're projecting 4.1 again. Like it's been the most stagnant of all of them that they've seen. So they're still very much saying like, okay, when does the next one probably, like, when are we going to start going back to what's next? Like they're not trying to guess anymore. They're just like, we'll see. Probably, the next somewhat of time, right? But kind of fascinating on that.
Somewhat of time.
Somewhat of time.
But basically, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to happen, right? Like, and that is kind of the big thing if we looked at the trend line, one from that. So.
Usually you don't know when you're out of it until you're already out of it. So what we know is we're in it.
Yeah.
And it won't last forever.
Won't last forever, right? So good. Okay, let's go into some of the speakers. Ooh, I want to hear the question.
The interesting thing to me is we're at 4.1 for several years, but we have more people that need housing.
Yes.
So we are still way below our housing capacity and what we could be doing because of the amount of people and the population that we have.
Yeah, if you want the updated slides, go into your command, go to Connect, and then go to MegaCamp 26, and the whole market report with all like 50 slides are in there. So this is the one I wanted to point out because a lot of the other ones are still the same thing. It's like, no, still buy. Like you can see that we're still following the 4% trajectory, right? How is it like housing shortage? We still very much have not built enough throughout all of the nation, and we're undersupplied. That shows those numbers. So those are the information that you can go digest and then be able to say, hey, how do I use this or showcase it in that way? So great question. Thank you. Okay, and we're kind of having it, we're in different spots. So I think we're starting with the CEO Summit. I went through, so this is the first one. We had Amy Porterfield. She was all about social media, and it was social media is not the business. It is the doorway to the relationship we own. Build content that earns attention, then give the right person a valuable reason to enter it into your database, right?
Yeah, so she was really good about saying like, I could post something that a bunch of people would watch, but like, what's it going to do for me?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really help me if it doesn't have a purpose.
Right.
It needs to have a purpose.
Yep. And then one of the things she was going on top of that, which will resonate with some of you, was that, Facebook or Meta, all these things could turn off how they're doing things. And all of a sudden your whole amazing thing that you built is gone. So if you're not getting information from that to put into your database, then it's a waste of your time. which was really fascinating. So, so that's kind of where it's like, if you're thinking it through, like what is the piece of content that we could turn into a clear, useful invitation that you could own that relationship, get that information, put them into your database, right? Continue to think of that. So, anything else on that one? Okay. This one right here was another fun one.
They were amazing.
This is CEO Summit. So me and Jennifer will have a good convo
They
in
were
a second.
so good.
Go for it.
So now I'm forgetting football. No,
Yeah.
basketball.
Football. Yep.
He's professional football player. You can probably tell from her, from her height. Yeah, Olympic gold medal gymnast. I think the thing that I loved the most from what she said actually is, she said that her coach they had like these non-negotiable rules. And one of the non-negotiable rules was we don't look at the score. We never look at the score. So while you're competing, don't look at the score. She's like, I'm a rule follower. I never looked at the score until I was at the Olympics doing my last event. And she's like, I'm really good at math. And I looked at the scores and I figured out, you can hear me twice. And I figured out that numerically, no matter how well I do, I can't win. There's no way I can win. She's like, maybe if this one person does this one thing kind of bad, but she even figured out as soon as that person did her thing, she did the math really quick. She's like, nothing I do, I will lose, right? So she's like, so I had a choice. I can panic. I can, how do I perform? And now it's in my head. So the first thing she said was, I just decided to have fun because I got into gymnastics, so it would be fun. So I had the most fun that I could have. She goes, and then it was an interesting experience afterwards because everybody is interviewing you and they're all asking me what it felt like to lose. But I didn't lose. I won the silver medal for the United States, and everyone asked me what it felt like to be a loser. And so to reframe in our mind, like, why are we doing the thing that we're doing and why are we defining it one way versus another?
Sure.
That was probably the most powerful thing.
It was impactful.
But the whole thing was amazing.
Right. And they had so many good things to teach. And it was kind of this whole thing of, it's not like she didn't do the right steps, but she said very much of focus on the controllable inputs, right? And then that's where it's very specific for real estate. Like, what are the things that you're doing that create the business? And what are you doing to make sure that you're improving your skills? So when you go and you're competing against two other listing agents, you're not sitting there doing the math on, okay, how's this outcome going to be? You're showing up at your best self.
Because he even talked about that, focusing on the inputs and how, correct me, I'm not a sports person, something about in college, the metrics were different than in professional, that the way that the metrics were.
It was how his coach did it too.
Yeah, how his coach did it. So elaborate on that.
So he was going through and talking about how, so during his college, they had certain things that in the metrics of what it was about, and it was all about the controllable inputs. So it was all about showing up.
Yeah.
And then then when he went pro, they were all doing it off of his outputs. Which he realized changed his mindset. Well,
and it was counterproductive too. He realized that when you focused on the things you could control and the inputs, really it was more successful. So it was the wrong way of looking at it professionally, and it made for a worse team, and it made for like individually for him, it was like mentally and psychologically really harmful to him.
Yeah, he had a hard time fixing his trajectory when he went into like it's not as much of what I do now, it's how I perform here. And so he stopped doing what the now needed as much. Like it was your focus, right? Where you focus on expands. So, okay.
Okay, but hold on. They go through with their kids because they have young kids. And every year with their kids, I'm trying to remember how they put it, but they basically have like our life's goals as our family, and they're teaching their young kids how to plan for their lives. And they do it like, I don't remember exactly how they
And it was
would have
fun.
to
They
replay
made
it,
us
but
turn to each other and say, oh, like the retreat.
yeah.
There's like so many
Yeah.
common things that we do with our retreat every year.
Of like all aspects of your life to
Yep.
make sure that your life really is what you want your life to be.
Yeah, it was good.
They were great.
They were very good speakers. It was awesome. Okay, then we had this one right here. So longevity. That is not his image. That's right.
Not what he looks like at all.
That is not his image.
My bro.
That's
It's
hilarious.
the wrong image. It's all right. This is what happens when AI does something for you sometimes. So,
You just tell all the agents to stop being an agent, being an electrical engineer.
yeah. So, if you who in here has on Netflix watched the Blue, what is it called again?
Blue zones.
Blue Zones. Okay.
Go watch
So
it.
that's Dan. So that's not this person, the image.
Wrong
That's
guy.
Dan. So Dan is the person who did Blue Zones, and it was phenomenal about, just the information on, okay, how do people live their lives and what helps them live the longest? What was one thing that you took away from that?
Well, I mean, there's like food things, but also I think it was pretty cool. Was it in Japan? They sat mostly on the floor. So what that does for you, if you sit on the floor, it keeps your body strong because you're getting up and down and up and down. And so you have mobility and you have strength. And even like think about our lives, like I just push the button on my seat of my car. I don't have to do anything. So the more comfy our lives are, our bodies get not as healthy. But then community, like they've had the same friend groups. They talked about these women that have had the same like best friend group since they were very young and how that's still that
There you go.
tight social network.
It is fixed.
There we go.
That
That
is
tight
the
social network helps them through all the trials in their lives, basically. They have a community.
Yeah, for sure. And the community was a big piece of that, as well as then what they ate, as well as how they moved. So if you go watch, like I would say go watch
It's fascinating.
the Netflix one that he does of it was a good documentary, but it was fun to listen to in person going through that information.
Purple sweet potatoes.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And then I think this. Okay. So this one right here. So this was, he went through, remember he lost, like he didn't have his voice.
Oh, yeah.
This one was impactful. He was up on stage. I think he had surgery the next day.
He had cancer.
He has cancer. He showed up. He had the mic. Like you could hear him, but it was like one of those ones like we were all focused, like listening to this guy from his book. And it really like the big quote I have on here, if you don't know where you are going in the future, the present can feel like a prison. And it was impactful, him going through basically his journey and a few handful pieces. But was there anything like that you were like, man, what he said with that was impactful?
I thought it was interesting. I mean, we have the QR code. You can like download his thing and he has a book.
Yeah.
But this was like the second time he'd had cancer. And the 10-year letter was like a huge thing that got him through the first time. And yeah, his surgery was like
The next day
or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to feel within him, like he has planned his life here. And I didn't feel any doubt within him that he would be able to get there, which,
Yeah. Yeah. And he talks about, because he's like, Gary Keller asked him, why 10 years? Right? And why not 5? Why not 2? And Craig said something along the lines of saying, basically, that 1 to 2 year time frame is too short to really be able to see enough of what potential could look like.
well, and your brain like can make things up, like we'll create stories if it's too short.
Yep.
And that 10 years, we're not like making up a story either. It makes us switch to a different part of our brain to come up with the answer.
For sure. So good. So, okay. And I think this is the last one that I have from the CEO Summit. So, and this one we can talk about too long because this is where we went to the mastermind after with John Lee. And we spent Thursday and Friday with him in Austin, Texas afterwards. But ultimately, like right here, I have, what are you doing manually that AI can do better, faster, or cheaper? And he went through, and it was just, he had a fun time, I think, blowing people's minds of where things are with AI. I think overall, a lot of you in this room probably wouldn't have been as blown away. I don't know if like you still, I feel like are blown away, but you've seen a lot of this stuff done. But it was really good. What was something that from him, like if you had to summarize it in 4 sentences? I know.
Okay, so and one thing that I said to Taylor is I still struggle with, the output is only as good as the input. So he explained it in a way that like, yeah, I need to get better at my inputs, but getting better at my inputs is not something that's beyond my control. So when you go into and Taylor knows what the boxes are, there's like the little boxes, like here's the instructions and here's like all the things that you need your AI to do. Taylor will explain what that is. I don't know what they're called.
Sometime.
But he was showing us like he would say, okay, my chat thingy over here, I call her Sarah, and Sarah is like an expert in blah, blah, blah. And then like all these skills that Sarah has. So I was like, I really wanted his list. I was like, can you just copy paste what that says? That sounds amazing. And he was like, well, but also if you're hiring for this position, what would you be looking for? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not hiring from that position. And he was like, well, can you go online and look for job postings of what the requirements would be? And I was like, oh, that did make it a little bit more figure outable to figure out we are supposed to give the AI very specific skill sets and instructions. And we do have the ability to find that. And it does take more than 30 seconds a day to figure it out.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to take your whole life to figure it out, but it is something that if you want to be good at, you do need to intentionally and strategically take time to figure it out.
For sure. So that's where after this, I had a conversation with Harold, who all you know is like my best friend. It's an AI. So, and I was going through and actually asking about the specific jobs and like those kind of things. And it was fun to kind of dissect what that was. And ultimately it is, it's like by giving it where it's not because AI is so smart, but it's a generalist smart unless you have it be focused smart. Right? So how can you create what you want it in that way and then know very clear of what you want the outcome to be? Because if you can't explain the outcome well enough, then you're going to miss the point on how it actually works. So.
And then just like exposure. So one of his takeaways was he's like, I don't have one account on each platform. I have 10 accounts on each platform or something like that. He's like, and then I take this video and I post it slightly differently on all of them. So what does that do? And he like did the math for us on, if one video can reach 50,000 people, well, now you're doing it times 10 on all the platforms and just how much more exposure you can get.
Yep.
And at first I was like, that sounds like a lot of work. But also especially what he's trying to sell, like it is a numbers game.
It is a numbers game. So it was really fascinating. So, I mean, even these slides were me telling Harold, hey, I need to go through all of my other notes from every single class, summarize it, do this for me, build a slide, email it over to Kenny so she can put the photos and make it pretty. And then she did, right? So, but that was all done this morning. So it's pretty powerful. And that's where it's like, again, this right here, what are you doing manually that AI can do for you better, faster, or cheaper?
And you can ask your AI, how can you help me with this problem? And your AI will help you figure out how to automate it.
So, and we'll have another class and dive in more to this because that was, a full 2 different days. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is where we get to Mega Camp main sessions. Am I correct?
It's all a blur, Taylor.
Yeah.
It is all a blur. It was a good week. Okay. So the riches are in the niches. So he went through and the main idea was build trust by serving a specific audience rather than broadcasting general real estate content. I do think this is on the main stage.
Probably.
So what was something from this that, was like, oh, that's an aha, that was something that was inspiring to you guys?
So the niches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have a niche. So it was really came back to me going, okay, where I needed to go back and focus on my niche
Yeah.
and be, make that be me again.
Good.
Yeah.
So it kind of gave you that
It-
inspiration
it
to
really
jump
did.
back into your niche.
Yeah.
Sweet. Which we know your niche.
Most people do. Well, vacation
Tell us what
rentals.
it is, just in case.
Vacation rentals, just in
There we go.
case.
Yeah, short-term rental.
It's
So,
definitely, yeah, that's definitely my niche. And it just, helps you remember who you are. Who
Yeah.
am I in real estate?
cool.
It also helps your customer recognize that you're their person, because it's like, how many of us go, why are you a realtor? I don't know. I like houses. Right? Versus I am a vacation rental expert in Southern Utah.
Right.
That is very
Yeah.
different.
You gotta remember.
For sure. Okay, let's go to the next one. So the next one I had up here was Pete Ruiz. So this one was awesome.
Oh, he was amazing.
It was so good. That's why I have the description up here, so you can like remember and jolt your memory. Before I say what I'm going to say, what are your guys' thoughts? What was something that you took away?
Well, prep slow and then sell fast. I love that idea because then you actually pre-do everything on your listing before you're ever going to get it live, and you can, coming soon. It was because usually you want your sellers or let's do it, let's get on there. But if you have a better explanation of why you're going to go slow, so you go out prepared, and it's so much better.
For sure.
Well, and one of his examples of slow, it was like months. It was they did some renovations and they did all these things, and he showed, okay, if we would have gone to market originally, it would have been this price, it would have taken us this long to sell. But because we did, I think that didn't they spend like 40 grand or something like that?
$1.5 million house or something like that.
Mhm.
$15 million house, was that it? Okay, you have the big.
It was something fancy and
They
pricey.
got the right thing. It's just a zero.
It's fine. And they did all of this deliberate work first so that when it shows up on the market, it's in great condition and it shows well and the market recognizes it and it's priced appropriately, and then it sells quickly and for more money.
Yeah.
And
Like-
and
Yeah. Yeah, he took the average days of market in that price point, and it was 54% faster, even with the prep, I think, right? Or was it? But like after the prep, yeah.
Like 1% investment.
Yeah.
They did the inspection, pest inspection, roof inspection, sewer lateral inspection, sewer lateral
Yep.
repairs.
So they basically did all of the big
All the
inspections that you would do on a
inspection, okay.
house and make sure that it was good to have all of that information.
And then
Right?
didn't they like replace some flooring? They did some renovations.
Yep.
And I think it's
Painted all the retaining walls, painted the decks, tree trimming, overgrown ivy removal, power wash driveway, walkways, roof, cleaned service hot tub, replaced broken skylights, and staged 6 outdoor sitting areas.
So you think
and
about it.
none of it he paid for. The homeowner paid for all of it.
Right. And
He just directed it.
He made sure to mention that. He's like, the reality is if you can show people the value and where they're really getting and what the whole goal is, then they're willing to invest. I mean, that was less than 1%. So 15 million, that's 50,000, right? Like still quite a bit, but different kind of mindset. So he just said a lot of times we're running too fast with the client rather than slowing it down to help them be ready for actually what's to come.
But he also said that he also gave him another option. So he had, this is option A, you
Yep.
could do this, or option B, you could do this, and we could list it at this.
Right.
You choose. So he did give him that.
Yep. It was great. So that was a good one. Okay, Jason Mitchell. So this is, if any of you haven't seen the news, he runs one of technically it's the largest team in all of the nation. He almost 1,200 agents.
Oh.
They sold about $6 billion in houses this last year, and they just locked arms with Keller Williams. So he was up on stage, and he was joking the whole time because I saw him later, and he was like, man, they just gave me enough time. But it was fun because it was like, it's not about the transaction, it's about the relationship. And he went in very depth of just kind of setting up those expectations. And it was very good compatibility with the slowdown of the person right before, of him saying, how do you set up those things? How do you foreshadow, help in that way with that expertise? Anything to add on that one?
I'm running blank on this guy.
Okay.
I do think-
So
He was really good about just like on the bottom right there, setting the expectations of this is the stage we're in, and then already talking about the next stage. So they were already pre-informed of whatever was coming next, and it saved him a lot of time and questions. And I can't remember the stat. There was some stat about most buyers cancel. I can't. Yeah, like the inspection is like the deal killer. So he learned that the communication is what kept everything going.
Yeah. And the better you got at saying basically, here's what's next, and making sure that they also knew what was to come, foreshadow, help prevent that drastically.
And how you say it, you don't say like, oh my gosh, we got an inspection report. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Let me work on it.
Yep.
It was okay. We got this is what we got, and this is what I'm doing. They just want to know what you're doing.
Yep. It was.
So I used his phrasing because I have clients who were in an inspection, we were in escrow under contract. They bailed on the house because they found something they didn't expect. And then I used his phrasing, we were going to another inspection and they stayed in it, but I did the whole, but let's set expectations. When you buy this house and when you get it inspected, this is what we're gonna be looking for. You know, we're looking for things that I really did use his phrasing and it worked great. And we're close.
Good.
Yay!
That's awesome. So really good, really impactful. When I was in a leadership meeting with him, he very bluntly said, the reason why I partnered up with KW and I've been looking forward to it is because you guys are the best agents and I wanted my agents around other better agents. So it's really cool. Okay, next one. I know it's.
Fanboy over him if you want to see it.
He's like, you know, it's one of those things. So, Phil Jones was up on stage and did an awesome job. I know you guys were both telling me some things that you enjoyed about it, right? But really, it's the shift from being a problem solver to a problem seeker. And what he meant by that was very much of like knowing when to actually go and help with that problem at the right time, right? It wasn't, let's all go be negative Nancy's and like look for problems, but it was what are the problems that we can then go, point out and help out in that way.
That ties in with what Karen said, from setting the expectation. So when we're going in for the inspection, okay, this is what we're looking for, so it doesn't become a problem. So it sets the expectation.
Because you're seeking the problem up front to help with that. What else did you guys get from it? Thank you.
I was just enamored. Every time he talks, I'm just like, oh,
I know.
the
So true.
accent, the whole thing.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. So it was great. We'll have more information about that.
Kind of like helping you kind of create your niche, I thought.
He did.
What I got from it. Because he was like, so if you're looking for growing families, then what's their immediate problem, their urgent problem, their important problem, their essential, and then the aspirational. So like you divide it into those categories, find those pieces, and then you can hone in on those different sets.
And then you can figure out, because the big thing was it's not always about your message, but it's about your message at the right time to the right person. So then by having it be where you go through that process of thinking about who you're actually wanting to help and what their problems are, you can then go create better content around it. You can go get that to the right people so that they have it at the right time. It was really good. For your niche. Yep, not general. That was a big theme. Let's don't just do general conversations and put it out there. That's just going to get, people don't see that. It's not how AI or anything else reads it. Okay. And then this guy talked.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but that's not the shirt he was wearing. He had a new shirt.
He did.
Fix that shirt. Whoever's listening, fix that.
So he said that he'll make custom shirts for himself. So whatever he's working on, he'll put it on his shirt. And his shirt said Fear Fit.
Yep.
And he's trying to get himself more comfortable with doing things that scare him.
Yeah. So so for this whole trip, it was fun because we were in San Antonio. He scheduled all of his speaking times this time that he could then go back to be with his wife. So the whole trip was definitely it was, usually you see him a lot more, but it was awesome to have him impactful for a good, hour every day. He talked about wealth. He talked about, and I can't remember what one. This one's optimized for tomorrow, scale for tomorrow, optimize for today's, optimization and scaling.
Yeah, optimization versus scaling.
We'll talk about
It
this
was
more.
great.
This one was such a phenomenal one. It's very much the whole thing of, optimization makes today's model work better. Scaling makes a proven model work longer, larger, or for more people. And the sequence matters. Scaling a mess only makes a bigger mess. So how often are you optimizing your business and figuring out how do you make it better? So when I'm talking about AI and you want to throw on a new tool to then go do something, if it was a mess before, you're probably just going to try to be making it a bigger mess. So like, how are you optimizing certain things? And it was really good. There's 3 of them that he did. So the Fear Fit one was a really good one about motivation. Okay, then we had this guy. So this one was really good. It's about leverage. If Bill Fowler was here, then I think he's already now interviewing because of this message. So this one was basically, if you one quote that he said to me that I loved is, if you don't have an executive assistant, you are the executive assistant. Yeah. So, anything else from him? Okay, cool. Really good one. Make sure that you're getting that spot, getting that down. What does that look like? Still offended. Okay, this one was another good one. This one made me think of a few people. So this one right here is risk the good for great. So she moved her family from one state to another and kept her business going in the other place that she was. She told her whole story. She had wait. She doesn't know how to have birth control. I'm just kidding. But it was awesome. It was just funny because she's like, and we had another kid. And Dina turns to me and is like, what? It was great. It doesn't have to be a surprise.
Okay, so what I loved about her is she kind of, how we'll like throw away comments like, oh, I wish I could insert thing here, right? Well, she was like, oh, I wish we could, instead of just like going to the beach, I wish we could kind of have a place by the beach. And so she threw out this aspirational, I wish I could for my life. And then she went over here, like forgetting about it and left it alone. And then something happened and they went and looked for an avocado farm in San Diego.
And then they found one.
And they were thinking, oh, maybe we'll Airbnb it. Maybe we'll, but still she's not even giving her own vision, what I actually want for my life, much weight. She's sort of throwaway commenting it a little bit. And then she's back to work over here. Well, what she really wanted, she ended up building, but almost
Yeah, it was interesting.
not really by accident, but like not really by focusing on it.
Yeah, her son ultimately during COVID was like, hey, I want to move to this school.
Yeah. I would
It's
like
right
to live
next to the
here.
spot you want to buy.
So, I am totally going to be the one in the room that's going to get woo-woo on you. So here we go. We say what we want all the time, but we don't really, oh yeah, it would be great if I could, have an avocado farm in San Diego, but she lived in Minnesota, something like that, someplace really cold. She literally was tired of showing houses in the snow. So we forget the power that we have in actually creating the things that we want for our life. And there's so much power there. She only goes back to her main market and she runs a team now. I can't remember how many people are on her
Not
team.
a large team,
Not a giant
but
team.
it's built around her needs of what she has built because it funds.
It's well optimized.
Well optimized.
And very specific and strategic. And she's there,
I think she's every
Wednesday through Tuesday or Thursday through Monday.
Once a month, or was it once a month for like?
She's like, I straddle 2 weeks. I get the end and the beginning, and we have all these on purpose things. She does listing appointments over Zoom.
Yep, and her person
And her clients don't mind.
through, and
I do.
It's just how it is. So, but she used and built the systems and models that KW has, and was very much saying like, you just have to use it and implement it to make your goals come true. Really cool. Yeah,
And you can't do everything yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
from other parts of the country or the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Interesting.
We're from St. George, like.
Okay. This one right here, personal growth. So I think this is a good panel that we had. So I kind of had it on there. But one big thing was long before we live our lives, we determine our future by answering the one question, who am I? I'm not going to spend time on that one because there's a few others that I want to dive into. This one right here was about creating culture. And it's not only like if you don't plan to have a culture, then it's just whatever mess comes in. So it's very much, having your culture of what you want for your family, having your culture for what you want on your team, having your culture in that way. It starts with in your head, right? Get it clear in your head so you can really do that.
So I feel like that one was really strong for me too, because, I've had a team, I didn't do well, but this one hit me on that one is to set your culture and don't let people come in and change that culture. That's kind of big for me.
Yep. And then let's see. Okay, so this was random acts of marketing is not a strategy. I mean, ultimately, there was a good panel about talking about the different things with strategies and that kind of thing. It was really good. All right, because we have fewer minutes. I think I have both of Gary Keller's up here. So this one was awesome. Like there's a lot of ahas. I feel like we talked about it. What was something from Gary Keller's wealth conversation that stood out to you guys?
Okay, so you're gonna have to help me with the numbers. So he goes through, like here's what the stock market does, and I glaze over a little bit because he's talking about numbers. And here's what real estate does. But the most impactful thing to me is if you want to invest in the stock market, nobody's going to loan you money to do it. And you can leverage, and by the time you factor in the leverage on the real estate part, then he showed us some other slide, and I was like, oh.
And it was a lot better. Like if you have unleveraged versus leveraged real estate, and then he one of the big things that was impactful for me was he said, if you have all the time in the world, then doing it through stocks and having enough money go in there was a long game and you will win. He said, if you don't have enough time, or if you then you can't do stocks as your final end game because of
You need more than 20 years, wasn't
you need
it?
more than 20 years gave you 100% likelihood that you would win. But if it was less than that, then the percentages of it were drastically changed because of when and where and how. Really fascinating. But then with real estate, it was way more predictable. It was still slower in different ways, but he gave strategies. It was really good. I don't know anything like Holly.
I can't think of anything that came top mind on that one either.
Well, but also
The numbers.
Yeah.
but also the importance of making sure that we have financial conversations with our kids. Like how often at the dinner table do you sit and have financial conversations with your kids? Who else is going to do that with them?
Yeah.
It's not us.
If it's not us, it's definitely not school
It's their-
systems. Yeah. So that was pretty impactful.
Probably not in their algorithm.
It's probably not.
Okay, Simon Sinek
Yeah.
was awesome. So this was a fun one for me because it wasn't actually as much of a keynote as an interview. So what was something that stood out to you guys?
Well, I'm excited for his new book on friends and
Friends.
making a list of your friends and just getting a system around staying interactive with them and how important it is for you for everything to keep
Yeah.
your friends close.
Yeah, one thing about friends with that book he mentioned was we all talk about how important it is to put work into it with our spouse, right? If we're married, it's like, oh, you've been happily married for 30 years. And we all go, it was a lot of work, right? And it's and how much it still is. And it's how important that is. And he was talking about how there's no systems or setup or effort into us going through and saying, putting in work into our friends.
So he made a list of, I can't remember how many people he wanted to be friends with. And he would make sure that the people on the list, I don't remember how many times he reached out, what the frequency was, but he would look at his list and make sure, did I reach out at all? Did I call them? Did I text them? Have I touched them at all in their life? And
Yeah.
it was very intentional.
Yeah. And that was very impactful. Like that was where, I mean, that's even the quote, right? The way we build trust with our friends is the exact same way you build trust with a client and colleagues, right? And how we just don't put enough thought or effort into it. Really fascinating. So he had a lot of other good information.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, the code?
Yes.
Checking in, but if it's urgent.
Yeah, because somebody had
Do you have it?
died. Something traumatic happened in his friend's life. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, I called you for however many times.
One time and then text and said, hey,
He's-
what are you doing?
Yeah. So he looks at his phone and he's like, you mean this? Like, hey? Like they're all like very non-specific, generic like touches, nothing like SOS or whatever. So then, yeah, they have a code word that's, can you give me, how many minutes was it?
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Oh yeah, 8 minutes because it takes.
Yeah.
It was a walk out of a meeting. It was everything. It's like, hey, like
Because if you can get one-on-one attention from somebody that you know has your back, that will have an actual impact on your nervous system and it will help you reset. And you can be very impactful in someone's life in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Because he's like, how many times do I think, oh, I can't call them, I don't have an hour. And now I think, do I have 5 minutes? And I just start the call with, hey, I got 5 minutes.
hey, I'm driving home. Or I'm driving to this meeting. You know, ETA is saying
3
this.
minutes.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
So pretty impactful.
Very.
And then this is in my leadership one. It was really good. I got to listen to him again. It was about vivid vision and detailed descriptions of like what you as a company are wanting to do and kind of the impact from that. So, but that was just me on there. But yeah, it was really good. Hopefully you guys got some little nuggets out of that and got to glean a little bit off of what we were able to kind of bring back, but we'd love to have you guys at family reunion. So thank you guys.
It's worth
Shoot
it.
out there. So if you do, like, talk to Dina. Let's get it where if you need that monthly one to get you going for family reunion.